Hello and welcome to Graded Point Live, and it is June 25th, 2019. In case y'all didn't know, it is 10:07 a.m. And hey, it's Piper.
Hey!
We put her on a bus last week, and she got missing, and apparently whoever had her returned her. So now you got to do now.
It was,
Now she's our problem
yep.
again. So yeah, how are you? How was your trip? You don't have to go into
Yes.
details. Just
it sucked.
okay.
Uh, yeah. I don't know how to use this.
Guys, she's doing something, and I think I know what she's trying to do, and I have a feeling it has something to do with boards and sound. Um, and see, she's giggling, so it's just a feeling I have because she said it's not going to be ready tonight.
Yeah, well, that makes me sad because, like, it's not doing the thing at all what it's supposed to be doing.
Well, anyway, you'll figure it out later at some point. So yeah, let's talk about what the big news that happened while we were all kind of here and there is that Vertigo is gone. Like they weren't parading,
Wah,
like
wah.
they
I have
like
this
they
with my
weren't
mouth.
like they weren't parading around its corpse earlier this year, right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's like it was already dead. It was just,
yeah.
In fact,
We all saw this coming. But...
I'm gonna play this for the stream. I want to play my clip, the Nick Rekieta clip.
Uh-oh.
There you go. That's That's pretty much it. Uh-oh. So yeah. Now I wonder if this is from Bounding. I wonder if they'll mention I think it's Andy Corey. Unlike Bleeding Cool's like multiple articles about it where they didn't mention him at all. And if you want to know who Andy Corey is the guy who hired Zoe Quinn, Robbie Rodriguez, Eric Esquivel, Richard Pace, and all these other people that was supposed to, quote, revive Vertigo. Right? But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Boomer moment. Yeah, I've had plenty of boomer moments. I officially enjoy mowing lawns. You were there last week.
Dude, I'm starting to enjoy that too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get to cut
And
grass.
I don't even have a real mower.
Yeah. I get to cut grass. Yes.
Something to do outside.
Mm-hmm. So, let us begin. DC Comics announced that Vertigo Comics will be extinct beginning in 2020. They specifically note DC will sunset the Vertigo publishing imprint at the end of the year. The news confirms rumors about the imprint being shut down from earlier this month. In a press release, Disney announced that they will be resurrecting their comic book division under 3 labels: DC Kids, DC, and DC Black Label. Well, didn't DC Black Label also hit the shit as soon as it came out?
I thought.
Yeah. These changes are expected to go into effect in 2020. Books being published under DC Zoom and DC Ink will be assigned to DC Kids and DC labels depending on the content and intended audiences. DC Comics doesn't specifically address their other imprints like Young Animal, Jinx World, Wonder Comics, Sandman Universe, Wildstorm, or Mad Magazine, but one can expect those titles will also be assigned based on their content and intended audiences. DC Kids will focus on readers between age 8 and 12. Oh, DC Kids, yeah. DC will focus on readers 13 plus and will primarily be the current DC universe of characters. Finally, DC Black Label will be targeted towards readers 17 plus.
Well, okay. I mean, it's nice and organized. I don't see why they need
Why did
to.
they have to get rid of Vertigo and just make Black Label Vertigo? I mean, we're Vertigo Black Label. That's essentially what they've
Yeah.
done. I
I mean,
think
I personally know why they should have gotten rid of Vertigo, but they're pretty much replacing it with Vertigo. So,
I feel that the reason why they're getting rid of Vertigo because Vertigo was known kind of for creator-owned stories.
yeah.
And I think that they want to get away from that, especially with the whole AT&T merger and whatnot, because AT&T and those people like that, they're thinking all they think about is like, what can we make TV shows and movies out of, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if they see something, let's say for example, Sandman, right? I'm just using that example.
Yeah.
What do you mean we don't own Sandman? We've been publishing it for 15 years. Well, you see, it's owned by Neil Gaiman. But we publish it. Yeah, but he owns it. Why would we do something so stupid?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that would be the conversation you would have with a corporate bigwig. Like.
Yeah. Like, what?
Well, I don't have personally, I've never had a problem with creator owned because I think that any creator who wants to create their own and have it and own it, that's fine. If you are
Yeah.
if you are working on a title like say Batman and you create a character in Batman, then that belongs to DC.
Yeah.
That's a difference. That's different. But if you're saying I want to create this thing outside of the DC universe and do that, and I want to publish it, and well, your choice is either Vertigo or some other smaller publishing arm of something, or try to do it yourself, which I think more creators are doing now because it's just about freedom. Yeah, it's yours, you own it. That's it. Like. DC Comics publishers Dan Didio explained the change. We're returning to the singular presentation of the DC brand that was present throughout most of our history until 1993 when we launched Vertigo to provide an outlet for edgier material. He added, that kind of material is now mainstream across all genres, so we thought it was right time to bring greater clarity to the DC brand and reinforce our commitment to storytelling for all ages in every age group. This new system will replace the age ratings we currently use on our material. DC Comics publisher and chief creative officer Jim Lee also stated, what we've done here is apply an ages and stages organizing philosophy that will strengthen what we're already doing, whether that is our move into young adult and the middle grade audience or our long track record of success with creator-driven pop-up lines. That line didn't make sense. Jim Lee, speak English. Lee adds, we will also continue to publish creator-owned projects, and will evaluate and assign the appropriate label to help our fans find the best books for their interests. These new labels will only bring greater consistency and focus to our characters, but they also open up a wealth of new opportunities for the talent working on our books. Lee would add on Twitter that, quote, no books are being canceled or going away. Right? Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder.
Scott Steiner. I wish Scott Steiner would write a comic book. That would be hilarious. Can you imagine? I'm just thinking about Scott Steiner. Oh, I just got this tweet talking about Bleeding Cool. It says how to render Bleeding Cool safe from your desktop. VPN, upstream ad blocker, upstream tracking blocker, Brave browser, disable JavaScript.
Woo. Yep.
It takes a lot to. Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But
Yeah.
So Scott Snyder revealed that his American Vampire series will find a home under Black Label. He said, I cannot express how proud I am, blah, blah, blah. Many comic book creators simply wish Vertigo farewell. The comic that made me want to write for Vertigo books, blah, blah, blah. Goodbye, Vertigo Comics. I don't think I'd be in comics if it weren't for those books. Deep thanks to the pioneering Karen P. Berger and all the editors and creators that made it such an inspiring place. Joe Hill, those early Vertigo books, blah, blah, blah. Very sad to see Vertigo go, where so many people got their start reading comics. Raising a glass. They say the news makes me sad. At least some people were actually sad about it, right? DC Comics attempted to relaunch Vertigo Comics last year. However, it featured a number of extremely controversial creative teams that included Zoe Quinn, Robbie Rodriguez, Ramon Villalobos, Eric Esquivel, Rob Sheridan, and Richard Pace, among others. Following the relaunch, the controversial creators announced that would plague the imprint. Robert Rodriguez would tweet unsolicited picture of his extremities, aka his asshole, at former DC Comics Ethan Van Sciver. Zoe Quinn would take to social media to call Republicans evil. I don't think that's the worst thing she's ever done.
Yeah, that's pretty tame.
For her, that's tame. That's like on the low.
Yeah.
That's like on the low end of controversial things that Zoe Quinn has done. Ramon Villalobos would espouse anti-white racism. Rob Sheridan would attack Donald Trump supporters. Oh, I thought that was whatever.
Right.
Richard Pace advocated that businesses should deny service to those he deems, quote, active fascists in power. And, of course, the number one and bonus, Eric Esquivel would be accused of sexual misconduct and see his Border Town series canceled. He would deny the accusations. Oh, by the way, do you know he tried to make a comeback? He's already trying. Remember how I said it'll be 6 months and he would try to make a comeback? I've learned my lesson. I prostrate myself upon the altar of social justice, kind of thing. He tried and immediately got shut down. I said, ain't been long enough, fam. I said, you got to wait at least 6 months to a year. You got to give it more time. I said,
yeah.
Sales would also plummet as most titles didn't even ship over 10,000 copies by their second issue. Well, most of them didn't ship it in their first issue, but whatever.
Oh, we got a thumbs down.
Hi, Ren. How you doing?
Right?
How you doing, Ren? Glad you're listening. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Right? So they said they're not canceling any of their titles, they're just rearranging them?
Well, I think they meant DC titles.
Okay, I was going to say, because I was pretty sure that some of that shit was being canceled.
Reading the comments here. Vertigo reboot. Woke AF, broke AF.
Yep. LA Karma is fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please don't slip any more into mainstream DC.
Who said that?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Vertigo artism slipped into the mainstream DC, though. Should have called that wokeism instead, and please no more.
Berger was allowed to stay 10 years too long, and the thousands books they released showed that. I didn't think they had bad books during the early 2000s. Completely disappointed. I would have liked Vertigo to keep going, but that's what you get for hiring creators who shove their ideologies down everyone's throats. Their reboot books were incredibly bad. I felt ripped off and incredibly turned off after giving Border Town and Hex Wives a shot. Well, see, there was your problem. You gave Border Town a shot.
Yeah.
Which was extremely racist.
Yeah.
God, that was such a racist book. And okay, I'm gonna say something controversial, Piper. Are you ready? This might actually get us kicked off YouTube if the algorithm catches it.
Oh snap!
There is no such thing as reverse racism. There is only racism.
Oh man! Oh man!
And you can be racist against African Americans. You can be racist against Arabs. You can be racist against the Chinese, the Asians. And you can be racist against white people. I know it's a shock.
And it's weird, too, because white people is technically not a race. Like, it's multiple races of people that happen to be pale as fuck.
It's
But
funny.
yeah, but saying that you can be racist against those races, yeah,
Hmm.
we're gonna get yeeted now.
Well, and also, they'll try to say, well, racism is, it's about institutional power. I was like, no, it's literally hating somebody because of the color of their skin.
Yeah,
I
that's
said, what
what
you're
it is.
talking about is classism,
Yep.
where if the institute, like, okay, you know how I can prove that it's not racism, that it's classism when they hold the quote man down, when they hold people down. Look at look at
Yeah.
look at the English. What did they do to the Irish all those years? They were the same color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the Scott. They did the same thing to the Scottish, right? Held them down. So, we're never getting monetized at this rate. So who cares?
Gotta be monetized to get demonetized.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta get it before you can lose it. Yeah, exactly. Blah blah. Power plus privilege plus race. Blah blah blah. Yeah. That's the thing. Power and privilege part is
Depending on the
classism.
area,
You know.
yeah, but also depending on the area you're in,
Mm-hmm.
really determines what race that is, too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when you look at the, I don't want to get too much into it, go too far off the reservation here, but
yeah,
when you look at where African slaves came from, who captured African slaves? Other Africans.
yep,
So it was all about who was the most powerful tribe at the time, right?
yep.
Just saying, that's how it was. I mean, they can, you can deny it. So that's when I call BS when people say, oh, it's privilege and it's institutional because they've always had the power. I was like, well, not really. I mean, it's just
Nope. Power changes hands with the times, just like all sorts of other stuff.
Right.
Like,
Hmm. I mean, the whole thing. Yes, it would be ideal to have a system in place where nothing, where you couldn't oppress people because of what they make, how much money they make or the color of their skin or thing. Yeah, and we call that America. So
America.
as much as this country is hated and hated by its own citizens sometimes, and I get it. America ain't perfect, but overall, it's not bad.
At least we have laws in place that are not anti any one particular
Hmm.
group. Even though if you have enough money, it doesn't apply. So
Right.
still kind
Exactly.
of have that problem.
Hmm. So, but yeah. Anyway, besides the point. So yeah, Vertigo. Um.
Yeah.
Uh. Anybody surprised that Vertigo's getting shit canned? I mean, I'm not.
I have not said I liked Vertigo at one point, and that was a long.
I liked it when they did when they were doing Hellblazer and Swamp Thing and Preacher and things like that. It has nothing to do with that was kind of a dumb thing Dan Didio said. It's well, those things became mainstream. I was like, I don't really think that it's mainstream for a guy for a guy to get possessed by the spirit of the spawn of an angel and a demon that has a best friend that's a vampire that rapes his girlfriend, and then they get into a fight and kill each other, and then God gets shot in the head.
Yeah, that's
I gave you that was a. By the way, guys, if you want to check out Preacher, check it out. It's actually a pretty good read. I
Yeah.
very, very simplified that story. It's a lot more complicated than. I don't think that would be it's like, oh, that's mainstream. No, it's not.
yeah.
That's not mainstream. Dan, get out of here, you dummy. Maybe Dan, people said, maybe we should get rid of Dan Didio. Maybe they're right. Maybe he's the one. Maybe he's the
Yeah.
problem, right? Like,
He is.
what are you, stupid? I mean, like I said, I think we talked about it when they announce these new books and stuff like that, I think we when we talked about it, we all said, well, that's the end of Vertigo.
I would say press F, but no, fuck them.
I mean, I'm pressing F for what Vertigo was.
Yeah, I will press F for old Vertigo.
Yeah.
They killed. It did get murdered.
Yeah.
So
I never heard about it until today.
dang.
But no, yeah, that's that's it. That's Vertigo. It's done. Thanks, Andy Corey. Thanks, Zoe Quinn. It's like, Zoe's been on a roll in the last 5 years. She's like, she killed gaming, and then she killed.
She kills everything she touches.
Mm-hmm.
And finishes nothing.
When you're a walking biohazard, what do you expect, right?
Woo.
I said it. Give a damn who thinks. So yeah, that's that. So guess we're going to talk about the other place, right? Let me get the since I don't want to give them advertisement. Let's get that censorship bar ready. All right. This looks hilarious. Okay. So we're on this site. Let's call it garbage.garbage. It's probably the best name for it, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, once again, Rich Johnston is stirring the pot. Because he can't help himself, apparently. So, yeah. And it's also one of our other favorite topics of conversation sometimes. The Cheesy Rice identifies secret left-wing Commentsgate grifters. That sounds ominous, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. By, of course, Rich Johnston.
Naturally.
The Cheesy Rice is a comic book creator who is often not happy with Bleeding Cool. I mean, garbage. He really didn't like this article we ran a couple of years ago dubbed How Not to Apply for a Job at Marvel Comics, and it often comes up. Why would anybody apply for a job at Marvel Comics? That's
right.
My article would have been Do not apply for a job at Marvel Comics if you want to be an actual successful, person. But one article he posted this week has a number of associated articles that seem to tell a story, a narrative, if you will.
Oh, man.
Cheesy Rice claims to have created, or at least popularized, the Commentsgate name. Doubt.
Wow.
He sees its cause as thus. The cause of it was because of politics, specifically a left-wing monopoly trying to harm all right-wingers in the business and make sure we don't get to produce books or have any influence. They want all our books to be to force LGBTQ WTF on children. None to have male or white lead characters unless villains, and to push identity politics so that not only are the primary demographic of readers kicked out of comics, but so that they stir up anger to get white Christian Republican men out of the country. Wow, that's some
that's really giving them a lot of credit.
That's a lot of damn. Wow. Where are we going to go? Look, Cheesy Rice, where are we going to go? Where are all the white men going to go? You talking about
where are all the white women at?
Yeah, we found the white women. I mean, that's fine. But the thing, how does that make any sense? Get them out of the country? What? Yeah. We ain't leaving.
Because of comics?
We gonna get deported.
We gonna get deported because comics? Well.
Actual legal citizens have been here since birth. They're going to get deported out of their own country because of comic books. It's,
Wow. Yeah, that's giving them a lot of credit, and also that's really like paranoid schizophrenia going on right there. Jeez.
Yes, Seth is correct. The cheesy rice is at it again. Um, and the thing is like, oh god, I just would love for these two to just talk to each other because honestly, I would want Rich Johnson and Cheesy Rice to just like get into a conversation with each other because it would be an infinite loop of stupidity. You know, it would just be back and forth each other because I think that would be entertaining for a while, but I would also hope that would distract each other enough so we never have to hear from them again.
Yeah.
So, of course, A, the audience of such comics is probably still an adult one, and B, was forcing heterosexuality on kids to read Peter Parker dating and marrying Mary Jane Watson all those years? Or was it just reflecting the world outside your window? C, most superhero comics have male or white leads. In recent years, there has been a slight move towards more female... Slight? Slight.
Wow.
That's not the word I would use. And those with a greater ethnic diversity. No one is trying to get rid of all male white leads. The motivation was to increase an audience for comics rather than to push out, and no one at Marvel or DC was trying to get white Christian Republican men out of the country. Now, I will agree with that because that's stupid. Perlmutter was just wanting to make more money. Also, why one of Trump's largest donors, a personal friend of Donald Trump and part of the administration, was directly involved in greenlighting the Spider-Gwen series, co-created by Robbie Rodriguez. More on him later. We don't want to talk about his asshole. On August 21st, 2018, Cheesy Rice wrote a piece dubbed "Comicsgate Will Win Because of Loyalty," saying, "The list of support goes on too long to list in a blog, but my experiences were like this down the line from the biggest name of creators to random comic fan. This group really cares about the movement going on, about the products that keeps going, and it keeps going. My book has already made significant history as the first non-pro book with no big names attached to crack 20,000 in the campaign." You notice how much he had to qualify?
Yeah.
In that statement. Non-pro book with no big names attached to crack 20,000.
Yeah. Woo. Congrats, buddy.
And it continues on. I mean, guys in chat, August 2018. I'm thinking, wasn't Jawbreakers was in April of that year, right? Of last year.
I believe so.
Is he trying to say Jawbreakers is like it was done by a pro? Like, I mean, I guess you could say Malin, but because Malin did the art, but that's still a stretch, yeah.
Well, it is a name attached to it, so I guess.
But like I said, he had to like qualify really well, down to like non-pro book with no big names attached. He really had to qualify that one. Like, holy crap, dude, what are you doing? Let's see. Okay, and it continues on. I was worried at first that this would be just a brief flash and it would run out of steam, but John Malin, my cover artist, already released a new Indiegogo yesterday to tremendous success himself. It's still rolling. People are saving their dollars from the big companies and supporting these books now. We have a trend. We have a new industry. Wow, he sounded kind of reasonable until he went crazy, didn't he? But got to remember, he's always been crazy. And that's just why we're going to win this. Before I go today and create more content, I want to highlight one other Kickstarter, Heroes Unleashed, a superhero novel franchise that's going to be making waves over the next few years. It's run by Silver Empire Publishing, who are great friends and supporters. Books and novels need to be as much support as comics comics do if we are going to change the culture, so it's something to check out. Always good to see independent comic books get such support, especially on crowdfunding sites. But this has been happening for a while, pretty much since Womanthology kicked the doors down. I have no idea what that is.
What is that? Well, I was going to say, what is that?
Womanthology. What is Womanthology? I've never heard of that. How do you kick a door down? If you kick a door down and nobody was there to watch, did it really happen? I mean,
did it really? Yeah.
Did it make a sound? I mean, come on. Like I mean, if you're talking about like crowdfunding comics, I mean, webcomic people were doing that well before anybody. You know, because they've been crowdfunding like collection book, novel, collection hardcovers and stuff for a long time. So
yeah. So I don't think this person understands what virtue signaling is.
Well, this is Rich Johnston we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was that doesn't get mentioned here. But it was true. Comicsgaters were encouraged to back Comicsgate projects, a kind of virtue signaling that they were all true Comicsgaters. The second link was from a piece from August 28th. The other side of this loyalty coin, saying the anti-Comicsgate industry surge is about harassing and scaring people. Well, not. They showed their true stripes last weekend with this, and with a DC/Marvel artist sending pictures of his butthole publicly to Ethan Van Sciver and tagging him. This is the most unprofessional, disgusting industry where people would do that. These aren't fans fed up with bad products. These are top professionals trying to abuse and hurt people because they they don't like their alternatives coming up to work to the work they're putting out. They're running scared and they're getting abusive. And then Rich says, I still find it hard to believe that Ethan, given all the mad stuff he's posted over the years, even actually gave a toss about Robbie Rodriguez's tweet.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. I've seen a lot of stuff, but I've never seen somebody send their own butthole picture to somebody over Twitter until then.
Yeah, that's still kind of that's still kind of unhinged there.
Yeah. And I think Ethan was kind of upset about that. He's like, really?
Yeah, there's saying mean words and blah blah blah, and then there's right out of left field sending buttholes. Like what? Yeah. It's gross.
And suddenly buttholes. But it did help solidify them versus us. However, come December 19th, he gave us a new piece on bullying and Comicsgate. Maybe things were starting to change. Yesterday, I was targeted by a major Comicsgate creator, with him coming to me on social media, passive-aggressively trying to attack me and claim I'm somehow being, quote, unchristian. Of course, when people do this on social media, they do this to bully Christians. He kept at it for hours. I don't think he knows the guy. I don't know how this guy expects to do work or finish books when he has time to do this to people. The objective is to get me to lose my cool and come at him hard while being concerned, and then go to his audience and tell everyone how he was just being a concerned friend, and have them mob pile on me with, "See, John is a terrible person." Well, John, we can see your behavior. You are a terrible person. Like,
yeah, what?
We don't need affirmation from somebody else. We view it. We see it.
I like this. Mata says, "How are you getting on Bleeding Cool without getting a virus? Why do you think this computer's a potato?"
No, I'm running 4 ad blocks. Like, honestly, they do this to everyone. I see it almost daily. There's bait. It's incessant. They will harp on something until the person gets fed up and responds, and then they attack the person hard for responding. It's been every case so far. Could this been a mean streak? Delaroz added, don't be afraid. At the end of the day, these guys are the biggest cowards I've ever seen. They hide in their DM, chat together, and rely on anonymous mobs to do their dirty work and won't stand up for anyone or anything. The more people speak and stand together, the less power they have. Mr. Cheesy Rice.
Something didn't go his way.
4 ad blocks for 7 proxies, pretty much. Let's see. And this week, it took him all that time to get to this, like the new stuff.
Wow.
Because it's Rich Johnston.
Yeah.
And this week, he posted a new article, The Cometskate Grifters, which is the most anti-Cometskate piece I've seen from him, and links to 3 articles mentioned above. Apparently, Cometskate is being destroyed by secret left-wingers using Cometskate to take money away from conservatives, and in doing so, I'm guessing he meant so, attack them. We've mentioned how Doug TenNapel quit Cometskate after he was targeted by a subgroup called War Campaign for not being Cometskatey enough. Delaroz sees it differently, writing, the consolidation was done by forcing out anyone with right-wing political beliefs and trying to damage their reputations, just like the old guard industry did when I started Cometskate. Doubt. Now a group of Star Wars fans and left-leaning internet trolls who took the name War Campaign decided to try and police people and bully folks on the internet to get their way. A lot of the creators who knew they were riding an outrage train bowed to their wishes, and rather than doing what was right, because the mob seemed to be going in one direction, all they cared about was the mob. And the mob veered further left. The left usurped Cometskate, a movement that was supposed to be a haven for the right, away from the forced leftist identity politics. We've seen it recently as Doug TenNapel has been attacked summarily for his Christian beliefs. Doug TenNapel got attacked because he was being a jerk.
Yeah. It's almost like Comicsgate was not just for right-wingers, but for anybody that was sick of that.
Yeah. They even came and attacked Mike Miller because of his anti-LGBT stances. They came after Mike because he was acting like a fool and trying to troll people during Pride Month.
Yeah.
That's why they
it's
quit.
Just...
And it was pointed out. Now, was the response too much? Yes, it was absolutely was. There was no need to get that far into the weeds about what Mike Miller says because, Mike Miller did something to troll gay people. Shocked. But that's water under the bridge. He said
it's almost like Comicsgate just doesn't really like anybody being assholes to large groups of people for no reason.
You know, that's a good point. Yeah, it's kind of. It's No one is safe from the outrage mob and is veering further and further left. But grifters came in from the left to take money from conservatives, all while this is happening. They think you're too stupid to realize and see it. That you'll just hand them money because they smile at you while they cash the checks and call you stupid behind your backs. Is it left wing to be anti-Christian? Is it right wing to be anti-LGBT? The former was never true. I'm holding something in right now. I don't want to. Just ask the Methodist.
What?
I don't want to ask the Methodist anything. Let's put it that way.
God. I used to be a Methodist. Or at least that's how I was raised.
I'll put it this way. If I ever want to know anything about the Bible, I don't ask a Methodist.
Yeah.
I just put it that way.
It was special.
And there's a very strong atheist libertarian right-wing streak in modern society. Very strong? I would say atheist libertarian. Of course, libertarian is not really right-wing anyway. That's kind of
what's funny is with Comicsgate, like, butt ton of the friends I made through Comicsgate were basically hovering around centrists like me.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole the left wing is infiltrating and this was a right wing move. It's like, no, not really. There's people all over the place that are just tired of your shit.
Mm-hmm. The right wing has been catching up on gay rights only about 10 years after most of the left wing did, though with plenty of holdouts. Honestly, what they're saying is like, you know, right wing people aren't they're not against gay rights anymore. I was like, well, they never were against gay rights. See, there's a difference between rights, as in you have a right to live and you have a right to speak your mind and you have a right to do this, and rights in quotations. Like, well, you have a right to marry who you want. Like, well, you know, my thing is, I don't give a shit who you marry. I don't think the government should be involved in that at all. What does that make me? That has been my stance since the fucking beginning, right? Who gives a fuck who you marry? Who gives a fuck what you do in the privacy of your own home? I always said the only way the government, you know, they're talking about like gay marriage. You know what? You know what I said about gay marriage, Piper, years ago? You want me to tell you what I said? The government won't do anything about it until they can figure out a way to tax it.
Yeah.
Once they figure out a way to fucking tax it, then they'll do something about it. And guess what? They figured out a fucking way to tax it. There you go. Gay marriage. And I have no problem with people getting gay married. I don't, like I said, whatever you want to do, that's fine with me. I want the government out of everything. Leave me alone. Let me live my life. Let person down the street live my life. You know, two guys want to suck dick? Fine. I don't care.
Right?
You know? I don't care.
I just think, like, if it's the privacy of your own home, it's not hurting anybody. Why
exactly.
are we trying
or privacy
to...
even if they're out in the street, like, you know, making out and shit, I don't care. You know?
Well, I mean, that's different. I meant, like, doing it. But
yeah. I know what you're saying. Like, whatever, right? You know, it's just like, I'm sorry. I know that's a tangent, but, you know.
But that's just my feeling on things in general. If you're not hurting anybody else, it's not endangering anybody else or exposing anybody else to, I don't know. Because, you know, you don't want to expose kids to, like, sex and stuff. So I get that. Yeah. That's not allowed on the streets. But why is it the government's business, like, who you want to do? As long as it's a human and not a child. Like...
Oh, yeah, that formula was never true. Press X to doubt. Yep, that's right. That's what I said. There is a large, very large, still today, don't say was, is. There is a very large left wing, and I'm talking about more progressive, not left wing, not liberal, right? But very large progressive part who would want to do away with Christianity for good. Because they think that's the problem with the world, right? That's just the way it is. I'm not saying not liberal. Liberals, like, they want to espouse separation of church and state. If that's what they want to believe, that's fine. That's okay. You know, that's like prayer in schools and things like that. But there is absolutely a portion of progressives who would want absolute no Christianity at all. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, where was I at? Piper?
What?
I said you kind of left there. You didn't say anything.
I was listening.
Okay.
I just this whole article is freaking Jesus.
Often when one of them discovers that a member of their family may be gay. Okay, let me tell you something. We actually, on my mom's side of the family, there actually is a family member, a cousin of hers, that is gay, right? We don't like him, and it's not because he's gay. We don't like him because he's an idiot. He's kind of like, you know, the Louis C.K. bit where he says, like, you know, two guys are sucking dick on the side of the road, right? And you're, oh, look, those guys are sucking dick. And then one of them, like, takes the dick out of his mouth and he says, did you know people from Phoenix are called Phoenicians? He's that guy.
Wait, what? Oh,
People from Phoenix are called Phoenicians. There's a difference between the fig, take the I out in that today, and being gay, right? You understand what I'm saying or no?
yeah.
Okay. So there's a difference between being a gay person and being a fig.
Yeah.
So, sometimes that it's themselves. The gay Tory is no longer the novelty it once was. What's a gay Tory? Anyway, Delaroz claims to have discovered a traitor in the mist, namely Donald Y. DeLay, even though it's T. That's a T. Where he had quote from. Okay, look at the date on this. You see the date there? October 4th, 2016. If you're voting for Trump, let me know so I can block you. Thanks. And that DeLay's own comment could all be a front. And he goes, he's a capitalist lefty like me. I could put all sorts of political messages in books I want to make, but I'd rather make money and appeal to a mass audience as best I can. Alienating potential customers is dumb. So what you're telling me? Hold on a minute. Let me parse this. Okay, let me parse this out. Are you telling me that Donald DeLay wants to make money?
Oh, snap.
And he's figured out that if I can make more money, yeah, by appealing to a larger number of people, be they right or left wing, then that's a good thing, and it's not a good idea to alienate those customers. Right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, a man in lunacy, we need to talk.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, but there is a lot of stuff that is. Oh, let's put it this way. I'm gonna put it this very, very, very succinctly. There is a mirror to the war campaign that is just as bad, if not worse. But they are very good at hiding themselves, and I'm going to leave it right there. And I'm not saying you don't have to like war campaign. I don't care if you do or not, right? That's fine. It's whatever. But there is a definite mirror to the war campaign, Piper, and I've seen it, right, Piper?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just as bad, if not worse. Just going to leave it at that.
War campaign is at least war campaign out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still just assume that they were like goofy trolls. Like
most of them are. I mean, there's some that call themselves war campaign, and it's not like the main ones that are doing it, But there is one. There's one who's on the show all the time. He kind of gets into it with people, but he said that's not here nor there. That's just I just wanted to make it clear that there is a mirror, and they probably shouldn't talk. Let's put it that way. they say, I'm not you, lunacy. I like you. I know where you're coming from, and I agree with you.
It's it's interesting. It's like a cabal secret government thing.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, and I agree with you to the extent that just stay out of people's way. You don't need to like personal army. You don't need to do that stuff. Just fucking like what you don't like what you like. Don't like what you don't like. You don't have to fucking do anything, right? I don't need to go on a 10-day campaign because I didn't like something Doug TenNapel did. Who cares? Doug did something stupid. In other news, water is wet and the sky is blue. And same thing with Ethan. Ethan's done some dumb things too. I didn't like the way like I said, I thought what Mike Miller did was dumb, to try to stir shit up during Pride Month, and I thought what Ethan did was equally dumb by calling him out on it and making it a big issue, But they apologized to each other. They buried it. It's done. It's squashed. Whatever. They dealt with it. I don't need to say anything about it. Who the fuck cares? You know? I think if we just let the parties involved handle their shit and not and not the people around it, trying to get involved in it, the world would be a better place. Wouldn't you agree with that? And swords are pointy and used to cut things. That's true. So where was I? Oh yeah. Hello, Piper. I'll make sure you need to speak up more. I'm afraid you're going to die.
Oh. I'm sorry. I actually did my brain war campaign stuff. I haven't been paying that much attention, but every war campaign person that I've interacted with has been pleasant and funny. So I don't know if there's like mean stuff. Like
there are some. I'm not gonna, like I said, I don't sugarcoat shit. There is some that are acting like that, but like I said, as I said, very, very. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put this on screen. I'm gonna embarrass you a little bit.
What?
It's a picture he put in the in Discord. It's like,
oh my god, the ones that I have dealt with were like an army of bad day otter Jesuses. No.
Okay, no. Wait a minute. Okay, nobody's that bad.
I was gonna say, man, he carried on a war with me with multiple accounts for like a year, man.
Oh god, that poor guy.
He was really upset about that Deadpool comment.
He really I don't know. You remember Paulo? Game
Designer?
a little bit.
Yeah.
He alienated him, and that guy had the patience of Job.
Jeez, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, I have. Wow. He's got a new account to block. If he does not bug me on his account, I'm not gonna go mess with him. Like, I'm not gonna preemptively. I think I've seen that, but I'm not gonna go preemptively block. Maybe I did. I don't know.
I really don't. Like I said, he can do what he wants. I don't care. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't usually preemptively block unless they are currently acting like they're gonna start shit again or something.
See, but as you can see here, Ed is he is living the good life. He's watching Graded while drinking the mics.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag. He needs to tweet that out and say
life.
hashtag the good life.
Yeah. The good life.
Anyway, back to where we were. Okay.
It's sad. It's tragic. I can't drink Mike's Hard Lemonade because there is lemonade involved.
Well, they got different flavors too. Like. Yeah,
but it's all something lemonade.
No, it's not something lemonade. It's like they got somebody had something grape. Like there's a Mike Hard grape or something shit like now.
And it's not grape lemonade?
It's not lemonade.
They're supposed to have Mike's Hard iced tea, but I haven't seen that for a while. And I just drink Twisted anyway, but VeggieTales is racist and dangerous for children. California students claim. Of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah. Oh my god. VeggieTales. Oh, it's sentient vegetables. God damn it.
Those poor, once again, Doug Naples ruined everything. Not even biblical sprouting vegetables aren't safe. I mean, nothing's safe. Okay. So anyway, it hasn't gone over well. So this person says, maybe I'll block everyone who voted for Trump. Isn't the same as everyone, but women who voted for Trump should be stripped of their voting rights. But it's still the sort of clown shoes things that CG claimed to be against in the first place. And Donald points out, notice how the screen caps in the article are from election week almost 3 years ago? I got over it like a normal person, long before I even knew about Confiscate or who Zach was.
Like, awesome.
It's like, exactly, which is why De La Rose article is full of mierda, which is, shit. If there has been anyone who put it all on the line, it's Donald. Liberal or not, De La Rose is some kind of crybaby liar. And the one time he tried to back up his line on false accusations completely backfired. De La Rose's piece might as well be a bleeding cool article from a bizarro universe. And, of course, Rich Johnson had to actually write a bleeding cool article about it. Absolute dumbass. Huh. I just think it's worth reminding the Gator scumbags, and they're certainly at least lurking here right now, that superhero comics are liberal at their core. No. Always have been and always will be. No. From Action Comics #1 with Superman tossing around a robber baron robber baron to today's pretty effing awesome feminist agenda. What are you talking about?
What? They mean that.
They're saying that Superman has a feminist agenda? What? Oh, okay.
What?
I mean, if you say so.
Well, I guess I haven't been paying attention to Superman for a little bit.
I don't think he's right.
But he just doesn't come off as rapey to me, so
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's just that's what the thing is about what is it? Bleeding Cool's like comment section. All they do is jerk each other off all the time. Like
Yeah.
that's all they do. It's a bunch of whatever. I mean, yes, whatever, man. Like, so yeah, about this article. I'm actually. It really sucks that he put Donald on. Like, Donald has always been like Donald for somebody who's supposedly a left wing infiltrator and all this bullshit. You know. I've seen him like he's gone hard after like Ren, and
Right?
and Chrissy. I mean, he probably said the coldest thing I've ever seen to somebody because which, by the way, that's people don't notice. It's kind of a tactic that they do, right? Because he said something about her mother and she said, "My mother is dead," which I've seen many people use that and it's not true because they're just
it's just it's just one of those. No,
Mhm.
you're gonna feel bad. Now you look like an ass.
So his response was she was trying to get away from you,
Woo!
which. Considering Chrissy's attitude, yeah, I would probably.
Right? Alternative, more underhanded one would have been she's in a better place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, Lunacy just said, Donald's the kind of guy that goes hard when he makes up his mind. I can respect that. Exactly. Bleeding Cool literally killed Sweetcast's computer midstream earlier. I mean, I need to talk to him and Ethan. Okay, guys, there's this thing called like AdBlock and uBlock Origins. You run those things concurrently at the same time. This shit ain't gonna happen. Also, quit using Chrome. That's the biggest thing. Stop using Chrome.
Chrome, damn it.
Well, find something that's not Chrome. Like what's that? What's that one I saw people talking about earlier today? Brave. I think it's a browser called Brave or something like that. I heard that's pretty good.
I like Chrome.
Well, unlike it.
I don't like Google usually, but I like Chrome.
Chrome's got they taking your shit, man. Got to stop. It's got to stop.
They already got all my shit.
Well, just because they got it doesn't mean you got to give them more, Piper. God.
I'm just giving them like my porn searches. I mean, if they really want to know.
See, the key thing is you do your porn searches on your phone, right?
Yeah.
That way.
Well, I do them on a tablet, actually.
Well, still, yeah, that's where you do your.
And then there's incognito mode, so I mean, woo. So only they have my porn.
I think Bleeding Drool is trying to kill the stream. I had it stop and buffer more times than I can count on one hand so far. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, let's see here what we got. Well, yeah, it's been a few drop frames. Sorry about that.
It happened.
It happens. It happens. Well, anyway, I don't see. I mean, is there anything else you want to discuss? Because I don't think there's much more to.
Anybody in the Ohio area want like the cutest kittens ever?
Well, why do you have kittens? What's going on?
The cat that the neighbors, the two cats that the neighbors brought home and then kicked out one at a time, bumped uglies, and the girl one adopted me, basically. That's Susu, and she exploded. These two cats are like the tiniest freaking cats, and they are the cutest freaking cats. The boy is just like, he is so tiny, but he like whoops Lobo's ass. Lobo just doesn't realize that that's what's happening, which is hilarious.
He's basically too big to feel it.
Yeah, to notice. Yeah, he thinks he's playing, and he
doesn't
like wailing on him.
Doesn't realize she. No, Piper's always said she's lived in Ohio. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Shy away from that. She's not giving her street address.
I didn't say where in Ohio. Yeah.
I live on East Main Avenue in Columbine, Ohio. Whatever. I don't know.
So yeah, they are going to be very, very tiny, but freaking adorable cats.
How old are they now?
They were like a week. They're like a week old. She like popped like shortly after I left for Dallas.
And she only had 2?
She had 4.
Oh, 4.
And yeah, and 2 look like the dad and 2 look like her.
Okay. Are they all alive or just?
Yeah, they all, and it's crazy because she's so freaking tiny. I was like, I didn't think she could fit more than 2 in her.
Your neighbors need to be slapped. Who kicks out perfectly good cats? Unfortunately, that happens a lot.
Yeah, no, these particular neighbors are killing me because first they had a puppy and they beat the crap out of the puppy and tied it outside because they couldn't be bothered to potty train the puppy and instead were just mad.
Oh.
The puppy got taken away because somebody called
somebody
ASPCA.
Somebody. I wonder who that somebody was.
I wasn't the only one, actually.
Oh, okay.
But so then they brought home Susu, and she was very tiny when they brought her home, and I guess they didn't want a girl, so they just tossed her out on her ass.
Wow.
And that time when my cat Charlie went missing, every time I would call for him, she would come running up, meow, 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 and dancing around my feet like, I'm here. And finally, and she wanted in. And I was finally like,
fine.
I guess you're my cat. Yeah, I guess you're my cat. We need to get you a different name. But, and then they brought home the Splody cat, little gray one. And I heard them talking to other neighbors, and they were like, yeah, we got a boy this time. So apparently they wanted a boy. They didn't realize that if they don't get their cat fixed, he sprays. So instead of getting him fixed, they kicked him out and he was a kitten, and decided he was no longer their cat. But he's pretty skittish, so he's nobody's cat, but he's pretty healthy.
Right.
He's nobody's cat, but he hangs out with, like, all of the cats. So, there's that. Susu just happens to get along with, she likes Lobo, and Splody Cat very much does not like dogs.
Okay, with the puppy info, I would like to amend it to shot below the knee so that it isn't attempted murder.
Your neighbors need to be slapped. Oh, yeah, shot. Yes,
yeah.
Yes. And so they're driving me crazy. So I keep freaking out, like, what animal are they going to freaking bring home next? And then realize that it's a responsibility.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking, but they do not need animals. They apparently really want one.
It's funny you mentioned. I was listening to the radio. Because me and Dad were, I guess you could say we were hanging out today because I had to go had to get a shirt for the funeral this week. And we were listening to radio, and on the news thing, it came up and it says I think it was in Raleigh. It said the Raleigh animal shelter is looking for homes for 35 guinea pigs. I'm like,
The fuck?
what the? How the fuck?
How'd
I'm
they
thinking.
end up with 35? Gee.
Apparently they were seized because they had too many, right? And I'm like, and then they says, if you take them, you have to accept that there will be females that will probably be pregnant.
Oh my god.
I'm like, oh boy. And I looked. It was funny because my dad knows I like guinea pigs, and I looked at him. He went, no.
That's like me with almost any critter, especially ferrets, though.
I love little piggies. I love them. They're so cute. They're so.
They're so cute. I like their little noises.
And you get them associated. They're so well behaved, and
Yeah. Rats actually are really, really good pets too. They just have a bad rap because of plagues and shit.
Yeah.
But they're super, super smart. And if you if you're raising them right, it'll be just like kind of like having a ferret or a cat. Like
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you raise a cat,
they will love you. Yeah.
The reason why I like piggies over everything is because they are of the kind of, I guess you could say, rodents. You could get
Yeah, little critters.
little critters you could get. They'll be the least likely to bite you.
Yeah.
If a guinea pig bites you, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the Black Death can give anyone a back rap, as Kaiser Leo said in the chat. It's like,
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I had a guinea pig, and we thought she was a he when we got her. The reason I got it because when I went to the pet store, there was all these ones like they were running around acting like fools, and she was acting, she was just chill, and she was cute. She had white and like a tan fur, and she had a tan butt. So her butt was tan, and she had a little tan patch over one of her eyes.
Yeah. Aw.
She was adorable, and they said that what happened was somebody brought her home, and they didn't want her. They decided they didn't want her and brought her back.
What?
But she was associated with humans at that time, so she had no problem being picked up. She loved being picked up. Like, take me with you, She would like ride around on she would like perch on my shoulder and walk, ride around, on my shoulder and stuff.
I have one guinea pig story, but it has a sad ending.
I don't want to hear sad endings. Go ahead.
I know. It's just another example of the kind of childhood I had with my mother. So we had a teacher that had tons of different critters in the corner of the classroom.
Yeah.
And one of them was a guinea pig, and it was always that if we finished our work or finished our tests or whatever, we could go to that corner and, hold an animal or whatever. And I had no idea that the guinea pig was supposedly mean. And I went right over, and he was being cute, and I picked him up, and he was all snuggly and nice and happy. And the teacher freaked out and said, nobody has been able to handle that guinea pig. It was a boy. And she said, nobody's been able to handle that guinea pig but me. And I didn't even know that guinea pig had that rap. So she ended up contacting my mom and asking if I could take him home, because she was like, he's kind of like useless here because none of the other kids can touch him. And so I had a cute little black, gray, and white fluffy boy guinea pig, and it was all fun and games, except for the fact that I had never been allergy tested.
Oh.
And I started getting super, super sick, and it turned out I was allergic to animals, which led to allergy shots, so now I can have animals again. But at the time, it sucked because the doctor immediately said, you need to get the animals out of the house. Well, I mean, all there was a guinea pig, but you need to get the guinea pig out of the house.
Right.
And I had him for a good while, and he was already like grown, and I can't remember how old when I got him from the teacher. So my freaking mom said, "Well, I will go and find him a new home or something." I'm all devastated and stuff.
Yeah.
I come home from school one day and he is gone. And the sad story is, she said no one would take a guinea pig his age. All she did was go to the local pet store that ended up getting in big trouble
Mm-hmm.
for getting their puppies from puppy mills and selling sick animals.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. But she didn't actually go try to find an owner. She tried to sell him to the pet store. And the pet store said he was too old to resell as a pet, but they would take him as snake food.
Oh.
And she felt the need to tell me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you he went to a farm up the road or
Right.
you know.
He's got a loving owner. It was for
Mm-hmm.
some reason she wanted to make money off of my free guinea pig.
Mm-hmm.
And no one will buy an almost elderly guinea pig, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
except as snake food. So she sold him, kept the money
Yeah.
as snake food.
You know, I had a when I was little, we had a dog. It was a boxer. Might have been boxer.
Oh.
His name was what was his name? Because okay, when I was young, I didn't really I was really kind of silly on how I named dogs. I named them after other dogs on TV. So the first dog I had was named Snoopy. And
Oh.
yeah. So apparently at some point Snoopy got sick. I mean, really sick. I didn't know how sick he was. They just told me he was sick, and I couldn't play with him, right? Because he was sick. I mean, it got to the point I knew he was sick because Dad was trying to feed him anything, and he was telling me stuff like, "This will make him feel better," right? And all I know is one day, my dad told my mom. They tell me this later, because I didn't know at the time. I was like 4.5, maybe 5. I don't know. And he just told Mom, put him, take him into the living room, keep him away from the windows.
Oh.
I already, hearing that now, you hear that now, you know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Well, I go the next day and Snoopy's not there. Snoopy's gone, right? What happened to Snoopy? And give my parents credit, they said he went somewhere to get better.
Oh.
But they don't know that I saw my dad walk out with the rifle. like,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I already knew kind of what happened.
Mm.
But I give them credit that they didn't.
But it didn't flat out
Yeah, we killed your dog.
yeah.
No, Dad told me years later. He said he was suffering. So
Yeah.
and at the time there was there were vets, and stuff, but out in the country,
Yeah.
you just kind of do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Dad he loved that dog. He didn't take it well either, in all honesty.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Mm-hmm.
I would hate to be the one to actually have to do it.
Dude, there's been Better One just said Old Yeller. I was again. Unfortunately, there's been quite a couple. There's been a few Old Yeller incidents in my house, in my childhood and stuff. Unfortunately,
That is sad.
but you don't want them to suffer. But you don't want them to suffer too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a horse. If a horse breaks its leg,
Yeah.
there's only one thing you can do for the horse. There's very unlikely that a horse breaks its leg and is going to recover.
Yeah.
So.
Although technology is getting better,
Mm-hmm.
so it's been becoming easier
Mm-hmm.
to rehabilitate a horse.
Let's see, what is it? Manly say, I regret my story. Then I look up and it says, back in college, I accidentally fed my gerbil to my roommate's snake while I was high. Oh, no.
Yeah, I had to look up there, too, because I was like, what story? And then I was like,
oh no, right?
oh, no.
But no, yeah, so that was, I'm trying to think. Then I had, oh, God, seeing what happened to Droopy got sick. That was the next dog. The next dog was named Droopy.
Oh,
See, I told you I didn't have very good naming conventions for dogs here. So yeah, Droopy. He didn't. How long did he live? He lived a while, but he was mean. He attacked me one time.
oh,
He was apparently when my dad got him, he got him from people who put him on a chain as a puppy,
oh, jeez, yeah.
and he became food aggressive.
I bet.
And you could walk by him while he's eating, and he would growl at you.
Yeah.
And one time he attacked me, and my dad was going to kill him.
Woo.
Because he attacked his son, like,
Yeah.
But mom convinced him, don't kill the dog. He didn't mean, he wasn't trying to kill it, trying to hurt him. He just was up, got scared or whatever, right? And so later on, one day my dad was feeding him, and my dad was trying to clean up the pen after he fed him, and the dog lunged at my dad, right? Bit him on the arm. My dad still had the frying pan in his hand and clocked him over the head with the frying pan. He didn't die. He was fine. He didn't get hurt. But let's just say he was, when it came to food aggressiveness, he never growled at dad again. Right? I think dad proved alpha status at that point, and he knew not to mess with him.
Yeah.
Like he was forever associate that pain with And let's see, God, I'm just going to reminisce about my pets now. Then when
I'm trying not to.
yeah. And then he passed. I forgot. I think he got sick too. And then we got Rusty, one. And I say one because there was two of them. God, he was such a good dog. Let's put it this way: Rusty was such a good dog. When my grandfather passed away, my first one that passed away,
Yeah.
he knew. Because I went up, like the day after Grandpa passed away, and I said because Rusty was one, we took him everywhere when he was a puppy, right? We took him to my both grandparents' house. He was both running around in the house. My grandma, the one who just passed away, the other, she couldn't. Oh no! Oh Lord! Don't bring that dog in this house. She's one of those people, don't bring no animals in this house. So he had to stay out in the storage room, right? When we went over there, and and he had a box that he stayed in. Well, puppies eventually grow out of the boxes. They can jump over them, right? Well, one day she went to go check on him, and he was out of the box, and he almost got out, and she got scared to death. I said, "Oh Lord!" But no, so yeah. And like I said, when my grandpa passed, I said something to him. I said, "Just wanted to let you know that Grandpa passed." I don't know. Dogs don't know anything, right? I didn't think that. And he looked up at the sky. That really got me. I was like, the dog looked at the sky like he was sad.
Aw.
The poor. I said that was sweet. Yep. I did have another dog in between there. It was a girl. It was she was a husky mix.
Ooh, nice.
She was like skittish. Her name was RC.
I had a husky Catahoula hound mix with one blue eye and one brown eye, and I named her Queequeg. But I didn't get to have her for very long. She was a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really bad timing to have gifted me a dog, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes, I could not keep very long, but she was really, really pretty. So she got snatched up real fast by good.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully a good family. I had to leave, but
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you know what? Let me end the stream.
Yeah.
Before we get too sad.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Appreciate y'all joining us tonight. We'll probably be back tomorrow night, and we'll talk about some stuff then. So until then, we'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.